Hello. All right, let's see if we can get Alex to hop on so we can start our live today. Trying to find you. Hey, Jess. How are you guys? Hey, Alex, I just sent you an invite. Hi.
Hi!
We got it to work.
Yes, we did.
I'm so excited.
Me
Thank you
too.
so much
So
for
excited.
being with me this morning, and thank you so much for doing this collaboration with me.
Yes,
For
absolutely.
For those of you who don't know Alex, Alex is the owner of BrowTab. She is a Canadian distributor and our Canadian queen. She helped me figure out my shipping to Canada, which I have been struggling with forever. So I'm super thankful for her, and I'm super thankful for the collaboration that we were able to do. If you guys haven't entered our giveaway, make sure to go check out not yesterday's post, but the post before. All you have to do is tag 3 friends, and for an extra entry, you can share it onto your stories, and then our winner will be announced on the 16th. So the giveaway is still going. If you guys have any questions, you can DM either of us, but let's jump into this. I'm trying to see if we can hide the comments a little bit just so we can see you. I'm trying to think because I don't want you to be blurred out. I mean, I know that they'll be able to see you once after we post live, but I'm wondering if there's something I can do. All right. Okay, I guess it doesn't let me. I don't know if it's my phone or if that's
I see
just
it
the
too, but it's
thing.
just like low at the bottom. Like I can still see myself.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, let's just get into it. So, Alex, I let everybody know you are our Canadian queen and you
Mhm.
are a distributor in Canada. So, tell us a little bit about BrowTab, how you came up with that name, and how you started your business.
So BrowTab is a microblading company that specializes in all-in-one disposable microblading pens. So, how I came up with the name, I know you're interested in
I
the
know.
word BrowTab. So it's basically just a play on words. It kind of came to me. It's super catchy, but it's a play on the words bar tab. So
Okay.
it's kind of an homage to my past. So I kind of come from the restaurant, bar, hospitality industry.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
ever since I was 16, I started hostessing, and then I moved into nightclubs, bartending, all that. So it kind of just is an homage to that. I learned so much being in that industry that I still use today, like in life and in my business. And also, like, that's where I met my best friends. That's where I met my husband. So it kind of is really special to me.
I
So
love
it
that.
was really cool that that came together and that I could add that to my current business and my current passion.
I love that. That's actually super creative, and I love how it ties into you and like your past. And you know what? It's so true. Whenever we do work in the business or the service industry, you do learn so much that you kind of take with you. I feel like no matter what you do, right? So,
Absolutely.
how did you come across? And I've tried your pens and I loved them. I loved how easy they were to open. I loved how easy they were to kind of like find. They're really nice and soft on the hand. I forgot to grab them with me. I left them at the salon, but for everybody who hasn't tried them, they're super comfortable on the hand. I know that traditionally, like we've all kind of learned with like just the metal ones or just different ones that we've seen, but I really, really like these. These were just super comfortable on the hand and easy to use. And then you just literally clip and then you toss. So it was nice not having to like figure out the blade. And then, I don't know if everybody struggles with that sometimes, especially when you are a beginner. You kind of do, kind of getting the right angle. But tell us about your puns and like how you came up with them and your journey to producing them.
Absolutely. So it's kind of like you said. So when I first started in my first course, my biggest struggle was literally putting the blade in the pen. For some reason, I would always get it together like backwards, like the angle would be the reverse angle.
Yeah.
And it was so stressful because I was stressed about doing my models and I didn't need that extra stress. So our teacher kind of mentioned that they had these pre-assembled microblading pens. So I was like, sweet, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
looked into them. This was, of course, 5 years ago. There wasn't a lot of products on the market, and all I could find was very, very poor quality pens or very, very expensive pens. So that kind of started my search to find something better, something more reasonable, but that was still good quality. And over, honestly, it was probably 3 year search. It became a creation of creating my own product, designing my own, sourcing my own, to something that I really, really liked. And then it turned into wanting to distribute it and share it with everyone else, because there was kind of a lack of a product that was pre-assembled, but that was super good quality and wasn't ridiculously overpriced.
I know, you know what, and I really liked them, and I also really love that you have like these pre-made student kits. So for people who are starting to teach and do that education, it's nice to kind of be able to buy um, a kit that comes from, you know, all put together with a lot of different things from a company. For me, when I do education, I like to expose my students to as many different brands as I can, just so they can find what works for them. And for me, I think I rather give them the option of like still learning with like a traditional pen, but then also using one that's ready for them, because it is a struggle, especially when you're starting and, you know, getting comfortable and whatnot. But I absolutely love that you have those options. And then I saw that you have a variety of pens too. Could you tell me which ones are your favorite ones that you have?
Yeah, so we have two options of like pen styles. So one is just the straight pen where the blade is put upright in the actual pen, whereas the other pen is more of an angled pen. So it's giving you more of that effect of when you put your blade together, you put the blade at an angle, but the pen is at an angle. Yeah, as opposed to the blade being at an angle. So you have those two styles of choices of your preference, if you like your blade upright or you like it more at an angle. And then we also have lots of different blade sizes. So we've just recently launched the Ultra Nano blades.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited to try those.
So exciting. Yeah. So they are so fine. They're a 0.16 millimeter, and we have them in two sizes of a U blade and also a 14C curved blade. So right now, my favorite is the 14C curved and the Ultra Nano. It's just so great for still creating like that fluffy brow effect that the 14C hard blade does, but it's so crisp and so fine, and you're just creating so much less trauma to the skin. It's amazing. The results are so beautiful.
So I'm actually going to share the results I just got back. I actually took a photo of a model that I did. I'm going to say she just had her touch up about 3 weeks ago almost now.
Okay.
And I actually used the 14C pen.
Amazing.
And I loved it. It really was so smooth while I was, you know, doing my patterns and making sure that everything was good. And the retention was really, really great. So one of the things that I always look for, especially with blades, is to see what the retention looks like when they comes back. Here in Utah, we are typically more of a dry state, but we still get a lot of different complexions and a lot of different skin types. So I'm always really curious on like the effects that the blades will give. And, you know, of course, there's so many more things that tie into that, but I loved the results that I got back. I felt like they were, you know, one of the stronger ones. So I was like, ooh, I'm going to have to get more pens, especially. So she was a combination skin model. She is a fit 6, which means she's the darkest skin tone, or the one on a little bit of the darker side. And I absolutely loved the retention, and she loved it. And it blended in so beautifully. So it still gave me, you know, that look of like a really, really natural blended brow. And we were both really, really happy with the results. So thank you so much. We love the pens.
So awesome. I'm so happy to hear that.
And as part of the giveaway, you're doing online education now too. So what inspired you to go on to online education, and what can we expect from that?
So online education with BrowTab is called BrowTab B School. So what inspired me for that is honestly, I just love sharing my knowledge with people. It makes me so happy to be able to help them and make them grow and make them learn more and be able to be better at what they do. So that's something that's really special to me. So
Absolutely.
I thought, especially with like the current situation and like the lockdowns and stuff, why not go online with this and start sharing some knowledge? The focus of BrowTab B School right now is more of the business behind being a brow artist, as opposed to actually teaching brows and microblading and all those kind of things, because I feel like there's sort of a lack in our industry that we don't learn how to run a business and how to do the behind the scenes part of
Absolutely. Yeah.
our business. Like we don't learn that in our initial microblading or initial like permanent makeup courses.
I
So
love that you talk about that, and it's so important. So, how many courses do you have on like the business aspect of it?
so right now we have currently one that's live, as well
Okay.
as a bunch of digital downloads that you can use in your business. You can take them, download them, and just kind of plug and play what you need
Okay.
and just kind of run with them. So things like consult forms, aftercare, studio policies, just things that take time to build up on your own, that you can take what I've gathered over the last 5 years and found that works for me in my studio and use them as you need, and kind of just change a few things that fit for you, and then just run with that and not have to create it. The
Absolutely.
one,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's really great. It makes it just a lot easier than having to create it from scratch or kind of go and Google and try and pull things from different places. Um,
Yeah.
and
It's
then
so
the
true.
Yeah, like it takes a long time. It took me probably like 3 years to be super happy with my consult forms, just taking what I learned from different courses and whatnot. But
Absolutely.
yeah, and then the one course that we have right now is Instagram for Business. So it teaches you how to use the back end of an Instagram business account, how to use analytics, how to use it to grow your Instagram and in turn grow your following and your client base. And then our newest course that's coming super soon, that's also going to be part of the giveaway, is called Win Your Clients. So this is a way of using customer service and giving great customer service to your clients to grow your business as well. And this is something that comes from my background in hospitality. Again, is that but the brow business is a customer service based business as much as it's an art. So
Okay.
I feel that it's important to be able to give great quality customer service and have our clients keep coming back and having them refer people and just be so happy with the service that you offered them, as well as the brows you gave them.
Absolutely. And I think that all of those things that you're offering on your online platform are things that we just kind of barely brush on whenever we do our 3 day courses or week courses, whatever it may be. But, in our courses, we really are learning more about the artistry of what we're doing more than the back end stuff. So even I know that those are all really great things to have and to be able to learn. So for anybody who is interested in that, definitely check it out. I'm a little blind, so I'm bringing up my questions. So I also, okay, and this is always a fun question for me just because I love talking to different artists and like learning their backgrounds and like what inspires them. So who is your brow inspiration, and what inspired you to get into microblading?
So I started in the beauty industry doing lash extensions, which I still have a handful of lash clients. But it was about 6 years ago, and microblading had kind of just surfaced. It started being popular in North America, at least, and I started seeing it, and I was like, this is super cool because the results were so natural looking. I love the hair stroke effect. So honestly, I started seeing it for a couple months, and I just signed up for a course and fell in love. I've taken other permanent makeup courses since then, learning like powder brows, nano brows, all that. But microblading, like, it still has my heart. I love the results of it. I love just using your hand to create it as opposed to like the machine where it's a hand tool. It just feels so right. My brow inspiration, um, if I'm talking about someone who has amazing brows, it would have to be Cara Delevingne. I've loved her forever, and her fluffy brows is just everything to me. I remember when I first saw her, even before I was even in the beauty industry, I was like, her brows are
Yeah, she does
everything,
have a good set of brows.
right?
She
So
really does have a good set of brows.
that was what I'd have to say, brow inspiration for me, for sure.
I love that. And I think that, like, I think it's something important that we should encourage more, like, to all different artists, is to keep always looking for information, or not information, inspiration, whether that be, other artists in the industry, or, models that we like to have, like, for people to be able to see what they want to mimic. I know that part of the consultation, sometimes a lot of people will bring in, either photos of what their ideal brows or their brow inspiration. And I think it's so cool when we're able to kind of share that too on our pages, in our studios, etc.
For
So
sure.
so in the microblading service, um, being able to use your pens and having that be a really easy part of the service now, like what's your favorite part about microblading? Like what do you, and just like the service entirely, like what's your favorite part about that?
So my favorite part, this is probably going to sound a little bit cringy, but it's literally the Velcro sound that the blade makes as you make the strokes. I'm like obsessed with it. I know clients hate it, but it just is so satisfying. It's so satisfying to know that with each sound of that kind of Velcro pull, that you're depositing pigment correctly and that you're going to be creating these amazing brows. Of course, the end result when you wipe off the last pigment mask and like show your clients is always amazing, but that Velcro sound is just something special to me.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I don't think I've ever had anybody tell me that. That's so funny. I think if I was I think showing them the first pass is probably my favorite because I don't know. I think for me, because I work a little bit more with like a more of a Hispanic community, and I do work with a lot more between like late 30s, early 60 clientele. They're always so nervous, and I always reassure them and let them know like this is just your outline whenever we do string mapping or with our pencils or markers, just depending on what everybody loves. Everyone is still so nervous.
So nervous.
And I love, for me, the first pass, and I know that some artists don't like to show them the first pass or kind of move until the very end and then show them their new brows. But I love wiping off the pigment and showing them and saying, see, it does look super natural. It's not gonna look like a fake brow, is what I always get told that they're afraid that they're gonna get. And I'm like, no, we're not doing fake brows. We're gonna make them look so natural and blendable. And showing them that first pass is like the best thing for me, because I feel like the client takes like a huge sigh of relief. And then for me, I'm even more comfortable doing my work because I'm like, okay, she's not tripping anymore. Like I can continue with my work and like, keep going. But
That's
yeah, I know
so great.
the Velcro sounds so funny too, though. I'm gonna like, I usually will have music going and I'm really paying attention to that. And I don't know for you, but I always have like my clients either plug in or I let them know that I'm focusing. So that's what I do. But I always think that that's so funny. You're the first artist that's like mentioned it as like a favorite.
Yeah.
All right. So one of my last questions is, and I think that this is one that we kind of all ask and we all kind of listen, but I love hearing different perspectives from different artists, is when we start out in this industry, sometimes it's tough because we have like everyone is different, but we come into the industry sometimes with like a very competitive mindset, or like a scarcity mindset, that we're not going to get enough clients, or that we're not growing our business fast enough. It's so easy to get discouraged. So for you, what was the beginning of your experience, and like what piece of advice would you offer to anybody who is new and is sometimes getting a little discouraged through this?
So I think we kind of both agreed on this when we answered this question in each other's blog posts. I think both of our answers were practice and patience. So practice, it just needs to be done. Practice as much as you absolutely can. Try and get as many paying clients, free models, practice on fake skin, like practice pads, map out brows on like your sibling, your husband, anyone who let you kind of practice. Right? Get Absolutely. As much in as you possibly can, because there's so much you can learn from just actually doing. I feel like our courses are always really great, but we learn so much more when we leave the course and we're actually doing it ourselves. To this day, I still practice. So just keep practicing. Have patience with yourself, because it takes time. Like I say, practice. It also takes time to get good Absolutely. At what you're practicing. And don't compare yourself. Don't of course, have inspirations, follow people on Instagram, want to live up to other people, like the way other people do brows and how good they are, but don't compare yourself because you're just starting out. It's really not fair to compare your week 1 to someone's year 5. It's just not fair. Yeah. And it's just
we do that a lot.
And everyone does, for sure. And it gets you down and you're like, why am I not as good? Well, because you've only had 1 month of practice. So be patient with yourself, keep practicing, and just keep going and enjoy the ride.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. I love that. And I know that we both really answered similar because it is so easy to get discouraged. And it's like if we could show ourselves, then where would we be where we are now or where we're still continuing to grow, I feel like we would all be like even more motivated to keep going. Okay, and the last tip I'm gonna ask you for everybody who's tuned in and for whoever watches this later is one business tip from a businesswoman to another businesswoman. What's your best advice that you could give someone who's starting out?
Oh my God, a business tip. Um, okay, it's going to be kind of social media related. So
Okay.
just show up. So I actually have a free ebook video on showing up. It's really something that is important to me and something that was hard for me to learn to actually just show up. I wasn't a super social media person probably about like 2 years ago, and now it's kind of I'm always on social media. So just start showing up, start sharing your work, start sharing yourself, and start growing a following that's going to turn into clients. So don't be scared to share your work if you see your brows you created and there's a tiny little flaw that you see that no one else is going to see. Share it anyways. Share it twice. Put it in your stories and put it on your feed. Just show up
I
and
love
keep
that.
showing up. Yeah.
Oh, we got a quick question.
Oh,
So
awesome.
we have from Cejas Encantadoras. What about people who discourage you? Did you deal with things like that? Like once you make your first brows and it doesn't come out the way that you expected them, and you have that invoice telling you that you're not good enough. Oh, that's
That's
a
a good
really good one.
question. Yeah. Of course, when we're first starting out, not every set is going to turn out perfectly. That's kind of going back to being patient with yourself, that you're growing as an artist. I think it's super important with clients to be upfront with them that you're new and that you are learning, and that it might take we say a microblading session or a microblading appointment is a 2-part appointment, but maybe it'll take 3 times when you're first starting out to really get them the way you want them to. I would start with less is more and add that third appointment and kind of be cautious with yourself as opposed to pushing yourself to get it all done in 2 appointments. But just really be upfront with that client. Don't promise more than you can offer, and then take what you've done and learn from it.
Absolutely. I think that that's beautiful. I think the only thing that I would add for you is that, you know, I think with anything that we do, we will always kind of have a little voice that is just a little bit of a negativity, but I think we all go through that. And it really is easy to get discouraged if you believe it. So for me, I try to step outside of that and think, okay, that's just me. That's just my imagination. I'm a new artist or I'm a current artist and I'm doing the best that I can. And I love what Alex said is really being upfront with your clients. So whether you're a new artist or you're, a current artist or even advanced, if you're taking new models, wherever you are, be really honest with yourself. I think practice is really beautiful and a part of that you should be doing anyways. But also, like, I think that that's a really good thing that Alex said is like having that honest communication with your client and letting them know, you're going to be my model. I'm trying something new today. And, moving forward with that. But don't get discouraged. You are in a safe space and we love you. And we're so thankful that you joined us and sharing that. It's awesome when we can all be vulnerable with each other. So,
Definitely.
all right. Well, Alex, thank you so much for giving us some of your time today and answering all these questions.
Yeah,
For
thank you for
everybody
having me.
who's tuning in, yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I love it. And thank you for helping me figuring out my Canadian shipping. I
Oh, I'm
have some
so
people that
happy.
emailed me and they were like, thank the Lord for Alex. And I'm like, yes, 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 yes.
I
So
love it.
for whoever's tuning in, just a little bit later, this is Alex. She's the owner of BrowTab. So you can watch this interview. We're going to save it on our profile. And if you haven't entered our giveaway, make sure to go and do so. Alex, what are we giving away from BrowTab?
So we are giving away boxes of our disposable microblading pens. We're giving away mapping tools, so our pre-inked mapping string, our Easy Glide brow pencils, along with some of our online education. So you're going to get access to the Instagram for Business course that is already live, as soon as the Win Your Clients customer service course launches, you're going to get access to that as well.
I love that. And then from Miel, what you guys are winning is you're going to win an entire bomb pack, and then you're going to win our cards in Spanish and English. And then I put together a little PMU binder for you. So we're going to have your consent forms in English and Spanish, and then your BBP forms and incident forms. So those are super important to have in your salon. And I always like get on a soapbox about them. I know that people are like, get off your soapbox, but they're super important to have, and I want to make sure that every artist has them. So that's what it's coming from Miel. Don't forget to enter. We have the giveaway going until the 15th. It closes at midnight. And then we're going to announce the winner on the 16th. So make sure to go check both of our posts, tag your brow besties, and repost on your stories for an extra entry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so much. Thank you so much, Alex, for being with us again. And we can't wait to give it to you, all this giveaway, all this amazing stuff to you guys. So thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for the winner.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Have a good Sunday.
Thank you. Happy Sunday, Alex. Thanks so much.
Bye.